Hey guys, welcome back. Let's talk about the lesson for today. The objective of this lesson is to solve equations with grouping symbols. So let's look at the first example. So the first example, we have this equation with parentheses on both sides. So we gotta distribute the 1/3 and the 1/6 inside the parentheses. So on the left side, gotta multiply inside the 18 plus the 12q, and on the right side, gotta multiply inside the parentheses, which we have 2q minus 7. So let's start by solving the left side first by distributing the 1/3. So when you distribute, it means to multiply. So you're going to multiply 1/3 times 18. So we're only going to multiply the 1 times the 18 and keep the 3 on the bottom. And then we have 1/3 times 12q. So once again, 1 times 12 and then keep the 3 on the bottom. So it's 12 over 3. Now let's go to the right side. So on the right side, we have 6 times 2. So 6 times 2 is 12. So we're going to have 12q. And then we're going to multiply the 6 times the 7, or the negative 7, so it will be 42. So even though it's a minus, I treat it as a negative when I distribute. So it will be minus 42. Alright, so now that we have that, let's look at the fractions. So sometimes, in this case, we're not going to deal with the fractions. We're going to turn the fractions into decimals, whether we get a decimal or a whole number. If we get a whole number, that's even better. So 18 divided by 3. That would be a whole number, so that's good. We get 6. And then 12 divided by 3. That's also a whole number, so that's actually pretty good. So we get 4q, bring down the equal sign, 12q minus 42. Now that we get rid of the fractions, we're going to look at the variables. So we have 4q and 12q. And like we said before, we always want the trick is to deal with the smallest one, so 4 is smaller than 12. So I'm going to do minus 4q on both sides of the equal sign. So the 4q's are going to cancel because you get 0. I'm going to bring down the 6, bring down the equal sign, and then 12 minus 4 will be 8q, bringing down the 42 and the minus. So now that we dealt with the q's or the variables, let's go to do, now gonna deal with the 6, we gotta add 42 on both sides. So the 42's cancel because you get 0, bring down the 8q, which we haven't used yet, bring down the equal sign, and then 6 plus 42, that will be 48. Finally, we gotta divide by 8, so divide both sides by 8. So the 8's are going to cross out, so we get 1, bring down the q, and then 48 divided by 8 is 6. So the answer to this problem is 6 equals q, or q equals 6. Let's look at our second example. So once again, on the left side, in this case, we're going to distribute 6 inside the parentheses, and on the right side, we're going to distribute 3 over 8 inside the parentheses. So let's start by distributing the 6 on the left side. So we're going to multiply 6 times 3, so 6 times 3 is 18, and we keep the r, so 18r. Then we have 6 times negative 4, so 6 times negative 4 is negative 24, or minus 24, bringing down the equal sign. Now we're going to multiply the 3 8 times 46, so we're only going to multiply the 3 times the 46, and then keep the 8 on the bottom. So 3 times 46, let's multiply that. And we get 138. Like I said, keep the 8 on the bottom. And then we're going to do the same thing with the other one. 3 times 8 will be 24, and then keep the 8 on the bottom. Alright, so for the next step, we're going to try to get rid of the fractions. Ideally, you want to keep the fractions to get an exact answer, but in this case, we're going to turn them into a decimal or a whole number. So 138 divided by 8 is 17.25, or 17 1/4. And then 24 divided by 8. This one will give us a whole number, which is good. So we get 3. And then on the left side, we'll bring down the 18r and the minus 24. So now that we have this simplified, we're going to look at the variables. So we're going to look at the r's. Then from the r's, we're going to choose the smallest one. So 17.25 is smaller than the 18, so I'm going to subtract 17.25 on both sides of my equation. So 18 minus 17.25r, we get 0.75 or 3/4 minus 24. Bring down the equal sign, the 17.25s are canceled, bring down the 3. Right, it's looking easier. So now we're gonna deal with the 24. So plus 24 on both sides of my equal sign. So the 24s are gonna cross out because you get 0. Bring down the 0.75r. Bring down the equal sign, and then 24 plus 3, or 3 plus 24 is 27. And then finally we're gonna divide by 0.75 on both sides of the equation. So 0.75 over 0.75 cross out, bring down the r, and then 27 divided by 0.75, it's 36. So we actually got a nice number, a whole number. So r equals 36, and that's it for this problem. In the assignments category, click on notes 2.4, example 2, equations with grouping symbols. You're gonna have multiple choice. The first two is only asking you about the steps that you would take to solve the problem, and the last two you gotta tell me the exact answer, and that's it for this assignment. As always, if you have any questions, please let me know and I'll be able to help you.